Alright, so now we address legs. So now we'll go over my leg builds. This video is probably going to be a bit longer than the last one, or maybe about the same. So this is my main leg build. Use this one for clan wars. And for a while, I was running almost exclusively this, a while being maybe a week or two. And then I went back to experimenting with other builds. I think the oldest leg build I've currently still got is this one. Because my jumbo build, whilst that was the first, whilst my jumbo leg build was the first leg build I made, it went through like 3-4 different iterations before it became what it is right now. Now, this build is obviously a windfall build. The Amamore is attached to the windfall, making it well, take a lot less damage. And I actually haven't run this build in a while, so I actually don't know how good it does. Nowadays I might run explosive ammo instead of that, but when I made this build I didn't have the explosive ammo crate. Same with this build. And I'm still running explosive ammo crate on this. So probably when I pull out this build, this video, I'm probably going to change this to the legendary explosive ammo crate because I do have that. Right. So that's those two builds. I might just take this one out for a spin in PvP just because. I'm not sure if I'll use the Fat Man cannons. I might switch to the Dragon cannons because both of those cannons work on this build. Both of them have a reduced cooldown mechanic. The only difference is the Fat Man cannons go up higher. They can reduce their cooldown to 1.6 seconds, whilst the Windfalls can reduce theirs to 1.5 seconds. Or, no, not Windfalls, what is it called? Dragon Cannon, sorry. So, I might run that one. We'll see. If I do, it'll probably be the last thing I do. Just for some funny tee-hee ha-has. So, this is my, Reaper build. I've got this for detecting opponents. Originally, I was running Stealth, but I decided to change to the Frostbite so that I had some extra firepower. Now, I know a lot of people run shields with this, but quite frankly, I don't really care. I don't care for the shield all that much because whilst it does protect from some damage, it's pretty easy to break with most weapons. And I don't have the Relic Shield module. So, as I mentioned before this build, what I didn't mention was this is a Piranha build, though that was probably fairly obvious. I haven't run it in a while. This is, I believe, my newest build, quite literally. Tsunamis are one of my newest weapons. The only weapon I have that's newer than these are the Dragon Cannons. Newer to me. Actually, I think the Dragon Cannons are actually the newest weapon I have. Yeah, they came after the Reapers. Anyways, so, one thing this build struggles with is accuracy. The cannons are far enough apart that they converge at your crosshair, which means if your projectile flies past that, it's going to spread out in the opposite direction. So if you're aiming at, say, somebody's weapon, they need to be standing pretty much completely still in order for you to successfully pluck off the weapon, or you need to get a very lucky shot. Otherwise, that's going to happen. And quite frankly, I'm not the best at aiming these. Or aiming in general. So, there's that. But that build actually works fairly alright. Then we've got this, which looks like a incinerator build, but it is a grenade launcher build. tried this out. It didn't work all that well, but I was also against super strong opponents, so we'll see how it does this time. This build was designed for PvP, but not for League, which is where I'm going to play right now. And I ended up finding this works even better in PvE. Of course, as I showed in the beginning, I've got my new PvE build, so this one probably will end up getting deleted, but I may decide to run it today instead of my PvE build that I showed earlier. Alright, and then we've got these two. So this one works with a variety of different weapons, but I originally built it for these weapons, which are the railgun, so I'm going to run it with the railguns. But the Reapers, Jumbos, and pretty much any of my cannons actually work with this build. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that thing. This build. So I built this because I wanted to try out the storm meta, if you will. Except I don't have storms. So I'm running jewels. This wasn't so much to try out the storm meta, but rather the current meta with running the trump card cabin with autocannons, because people will run storms, or what's the other one? Cyclones, because they're both autocannons with high fire rate and little to no cool reload in between. And they both gain pretty decent damage from the trump card, whilst still effectively applying overheat. The reason I say that is because explosions apply overheat better than direct hit damage. Of course, it may also simply be the effect of both direct hit and explosion, because except for landmines, which don't apply overheating, all explosive weapons outside of landmines have both direct hit and explosive damage. So it may simply be the effect of both of those proccing that causes any sort of explosive weapon to stack up overheating faster. But I think energy weapons also stack up overheating pretty fast as well. So I don't know. But anyways, autocannons work pretty well with this. The trump card cabin, when you activate its perk, it boosts explosive damage by 15% and direct hit damage by 30% for 7 seconds. So it doesn't work on frost cannons, artillery, mine layers, Tesla emitters, melee weapons, and flamethrowers. Yeah, I'd expect that. Anyways, so autocannons primarily do direct hit damage, but they have some explosive power, which means they're getting the most out of the two perks while still applying the overheat very effectively. Reapers don't apply overheat very well with this cabin. They can do it. Shotguns apply it better, probably due to the fact they've got multiple projectiles. And, yeah. Anyways, so I'm going to run all of these builds in League mode, probably in order, which means I'm starting with this one. So, I will see y'all in the first match. Alright. This could be a good build, or a good map for this build, or could be a bad map for this build. It depends. I'd probably do better on this map in particular if I had the, what's it called? The Days module. A lot of people run that with this particular type of build. But I don't have the fast fire rate that a lot of other builds do, because a lot of other builds are running legendary autocannons. And I don't have either of the legendary autocannons that are most commonly used for this build. as a result. Let's give some overheating. Alright. Oh, I see. That's a turret build. Probably the biggest downside to this build of mine is that if anybody locks onto me and fires drones at me, there's nothing I can do about it. I did not realize he's coming straight towards me. Overheating. Okay, that worked surprisingly well. Okay, nice. Considering there were Moogies on the enemy team, that was a surprisingly good match. I'm guessing that guy was on our team. Yes, he was on our team. That would explain a lot. Anyways, next build, next match. Alrighty. Let's see if this works out any better. Alrighty. Those movies were from my teammate. I got scared for a second there. I probably shouldn't be back here. I think actually the movies will do really good tonight. Just in case somebody decides to go there. I don't think there's anyone to snipe over there. There is someone there. Okay, this is going fairly alright. God damn it. There were Moogies. Well, there goes all my weaponry. Ah, there's two Moogie players. Nope, just one. Just this guy. Never mind. Well, there might be a second one over there, but... yeah, there is a second one over there. There actually is a second one Moogie player. There is, in fact, two of them. Well, that would explain... not a lot, actually, because I don't know how we survived that long with that many players running a Moogie. Oh! And we got my clanmate, also running a Moogies. I did not realize he was here. Well, we lost, but I still actually think I did pretty well with that build. So I think I'm actually going to keep this one. Nice. Okay. Next. I don't know if I'm going to get a match any better than that. Well, If y'all are seeing this, it means I did well here despite my concerns. See, these weapons don't have good range on this build, because I can't exactly aim up. That hasn't been said. That means... oh, that worked alright. I can't exactly move properly with y'all doing this. Alright, well, I should be going to the capture point. Uh-huh. Now this is a bot. That is not. No. Can't afford to go after the bot. We need to take out this guy. That's my teammate's fire trail. Nice, teammate got him. Oh, there's another enemy. We got movies on the enemy team. Heat up. I'm aiming too high. God dang it. Is that Grizzly equipped for some reason? Yeah, I think so. I'm not seeing the damage highlight from Icon, so I'm guessing I have Grizzly equipped. Yep. That was actually alright. I wish I had a pair of these, but I do not. Not bad. They're both running a movie. Match ended. And it's probably the best I can expect to do with that build. Unless I catch somebody really unawares and they don't turn around fast enough. So yeah, I think I'll go with that one. Next build. Alright. Alright. So, I did decide against, ooh, what's he running? So, I decided against running the, what is it called? I decided against running my green Fatman Cannon Spider. So they have artillery and the movies. That is not optimal for me. Nice. That guy is also running a movies. He has dodged. Ooh. That was a full charged perk. That is doing remarkably well. Can I do something here? Damn. Okay, for the most part, I'm just picking off opponents, but this is honestly the best I've done with this build ever. Which is saying something. Ooh. There. I missed. He dodged. Artillery. Okay, unfortunately I wasn't able to get the... I wanted to hit the turret. I wanted to hit one of his artillery cannons, but wasn't able to. God damn it. Teammate got in the way. Haven't had reason to use my perk yet. I probably will here in a moment, though. Yeah, activate perk. God damn it. These movie players are difficult to deal with. Okay, landed one. Okay, we still win. Nice. Were there 3 Mookie players on that team? Yes. Might have been 4. No, I think the last person left was the artillery. Hey, that went quite well. I will take that. Did some good damage and also took out 3 opponents. Granted, mostly was finishing my players off, but still. That was intriguing. Next match, and build. Alrighty. We'll see how this does. This could be more challenging. Piranhas are a little slow. And yes, this is my piranha build. I don't recognize a lot of names, namely because I don't really pay attention to names all that much. I don't want to block this guy from retreating if he ends up needing to. I do kind of want to steal that kill, though. Or at least proc some damage. Let's see if that doesn't go into the ground. It didn't. Oh, that's a devastating hit. I think those are going into the ground, though. Yeah. Ooh, there's an opponent up there. We need somebody on the base. I can do that. I'm not optimal at close range, but I'm also not dreadful. And I think most of the opponents up here are bots. And then we've got this guy with the movies. Now that's a problem. That's a pretty big problem. Well, that's not ideal. Level 40 rippers. Can't tell what level this cabin is, but it looks like it's 18 or something. That explains why my team's missing. You can disarm this guy. They're golden. Doesn't look like you're even gonna need to. Never mind. This guy with the rippers already knows that he can't leave my teammate alive. He has to chase him down. Ooh. Nice shot. That was also close. Oh, well. Oh no, he missed the weapon. He hit the cabin. He's going around, isn't he? No? Okay, nice. Draw. Teammate played that pretty well. Okay. Alright, well, I'll try one more match with this build. If I'm able to see more combat against stuff other than bots, then I'll probably use that one. If not, well, you'll know because they'll be seeing this match. Alrighty, I was not able to get a better match with the, what's it called? With the piranhas. So, a windfall it is. Chances of them coming up behind us are pretty high. Chances of me not being able to do anything because my Moogie teammates are melting the opponents are also fairly high. Okay, they just dropped to 0 because I did something. Just bully that guy. Because the knockback on this weapon is insane and hilarious. I'm unsure how that missed. But that is also a commonality with this weapon. Randomly missing shit. It is something... Oh, hi. Yes. I am dead. Yeah, that wasn't half bad. Did a lot of damage there. Bruh. Yeah, that build was surprisingly decent. Alright, well. Did the second most damage on my team. Alrighty, well, let's see if we can find a better match. This build probably needs some optimizing. At some point, I'll probably make an updated version of this build. I do like me the Windfall Cannon. Despite its apparent habit of missing. God damn it. Of course, against this shit, I can't really do all that much. Okay, now there's an Moogie build over here. Can't tell if that's a teammate or an opponent. Teammate. Can I hit that guy? I can, but unfortunately, I am red as he got into cover. God damn it. Of course he accelerated the minute I fired. Yeah, that's a problem. Damage resistance. Aim up. Fire. Oh, he's on fire. I'm too incredibly slow to do much of anything. Just dang it. My will broke further. Everybody's running the Moogies. at this point, it's a weapon counter emojis competition. And Mastodons definitely can do it. So long as you're not getting sniped. And bodied by your teammates. Ooh, is he running Grizzly? The fact that he was able to fire twice there tells me he probably is. Nice. That is so fun to watch. Quite frankly, with all the new weapons and whatnot, the one I enjoy watching gameplay of the most is probably the Mastodon cannons. Watching opponents and teammates just get completely bodied by double rounds, by like 4 cannon rounds in a single salvo. It's pretty fun. I forgot to hit record on the previous match. So that happened. Alright, let's see how this goes. We've got artillery on the enemy team. Good ideas. So, is probably to get to the base as soon as possible, so that we can avoid that. This guy's not that big of a problem. Oh, got a cannon. Alright, well, I did about as much damage as I could do. Never mind. I exploded on his face for a tiny bit more damage. And there's my team died out. Okay, well, that will do. That will do for that. Now for my last build, which is my main build. We'll see how that goes. Alrighty. So, this build. You can run good with both Hakon and, Grizzly. But, I find, especially in Clan Wars, I like the, extra proc of damage because, well, that is oftentimes quite useful. Yeah, well, I hit something. You know what? I'm an idiot. All of this, and I should, again, be heading for here, because, I am not an anti-artillery. And whilst this does make this a highly contested zone for, combat, okay, that did not work at all. do anything to him. See, that extra shot came in real handy there. Came in real freaking handy. I am not concerned about the artillery in the slightest, and he's the only one left. Yeah, I think Grizzly works better with this one. I like the extra damage from Hakon, but it's probably better for weapons like Tsunami. And probably even weapons like this that do high damage, but over a period of time. It's also good for railguns because they can see people, they can fire at people in stealth. Anywho, well, that will do. I may do some videos on some of these builds individually. Like, I may do a video on my main build. On a video on its own. Simply because, well, it's a decent build. Alrighty. Well, bye for now.